Hi, I'm Dominick and I'm here with Coach Keith LeBlanc. He's the head baseball coach at Biddeford High School. What's it like coaching a varsity sport?
Coaching a varsity sport is a lot of work, but it's very intense. Coach freshman and junior varsity football and basketball, so it's like a step up in terms of the intensity and the amount of time and preparation that it takes. The athletes, for the most part, are older, a little bit more mature, and you know, I guess you know, with the varsity athletes, you can get a lot more in depth with things that you might not be able to with a sub-varsity team. But you know, it's very rewarding. It's very it's fun to coach. It's good.
What made you decide to start coaching in general?
I'd say at a young age I knew, you know, that I wanted to be a coach. I knew in high school that I really wanted to go into teaching and coaching. I had some coaches that I thought were pretty influential in my life, and just kind of, you know, wanting to do it myself to kind of have that same influence on kids and teams and stuff. And then I went to college, and that's what I majored in college and stuff. So I guess high school, I'd say, was when I started to kind of figure that out.
How are you preparing as a coach for this upcoming baseball season?
Well, I mean, we just started pitchers and catchers here yesterday, and you know, with the pitchers and catchers, we just kind of progressed. We're trying to get everybody in shape, conditioning. We do a lot of conditioning that week. A lot of, you know, getting guys' arms. Baseball has a tendency to, guys tend to get arm issues and stuff, and we just try and take care of those, I guess, before they happen. You know, as far as the regular season, just, you know, this season in particular, we're going to be indoors for quite some time, so trying to figure out your progression in regards to, you know, the stuff that you need to get in prior to the first game and everything, and doing it indoors this year rather than outdoors that we have in the past. So just making practice plans and just kind of trying to figure out personnel and that type of thing.
What are your expectations for this upcoming season?
I expect to be one of the top teams. We had a great year last year, and you know, like I said, we got some guys on the team, young guys last year were 1 year old this year, and kind of have some playoff experience. Guys that, you know, what it takes to get to that next step. I feel like we lost 5 seniors from last year's team, but you know, 2 that really, you know, Corey Brown was the catcher and Corey Krieger was the shortstop, and so we'll lose those 2 guys. But the majority of our team is back again, and you know, I expect us to.
What is something that you would like to improve on from last year's season?
I mean, getting to that next step, I feel like I said earlier, you know, we've gotten to the quarterfinals the last few years, and I just want to kind of break through that and get through that round and see where we can go. I always feel like in baseball, in the playoffs, you know, it's a situation where, you know, one team can get hot, and who knows, you know, Wyndham did it last year where they ended up going to the state championship last year when they just kind of got hot at the right time, and they got to the state championship. So I'm just hoping to kind of break through that you know, quarterfinal round and see what we can do.
Yeah. How do you plan on running your practices since we're going to be inside for at least another month?
Yeah, so typically what I've done is I'll split the groups up with the outfielders in a group and the infielders in a group, and really try and you know, get a lot of individual drills and attention for those kids. At times we'll get together as a team to work on some team stuff. Sometimes it is, you know, it is beneficial to work on some team things, as like first and third plays or your bunt coverages or something like that. You know, it is nice to put those in indoors where it's not, you know, windy or loud outside. But you know, the structure of most practices will be, you know, infielders in a session, outfielders in a session.
Do you think this will affect this year's team?
Well, last year, you know, we were able, because we were outside so early, we were able to have, I think we had 8 preseason games prior to the first game, which was great to see. You know, guys throwing against live hitting, facing live hitting. You know, obviously this year we're definitely not going to have that many preseason guys throw live in the cage. A little bit more this year inside, but you know, it definitely won't be the same as last year. But I always figure, you know, if we're in this boat, everybody else will probably be in the same boat too. So, but hopefully we'll be, you know, as prepared as we can.
What makes a good baseball player?
I feel like baseball is a sport where, you know, you think about hitting and just the dynamics of baseball. You have to be able to fail at something, okay, whether it's a strikeout, you know, make an error. You have to just forget about it and move on to the next play. You know, a good baseball hitter gets a hit 3 out of 10 times. That's a 300 hitter, and that's great. So you just got to have poise. You know, mentally, I think you have to be a mentally tough person. You know, those types of things I think are very, very important to make a, you know, a good baseball player really good.